University sponsored and allowed to happen. We're here today to discuss the events that occurred at the Minuteman Protest yesterday at Comrade Hall.
Just briefly, a history about the Minutemen. They are a group of vigilantes on the border who hold people under citizen's arrest, which is quite questionable. And they were brought yesterday, well, the President, Chris Simcox, was brought on to campus yesterday to speak by college Republicans and YAF, which are the same people. We must not forget they are the same people. We must not forget that these are also college Republicans, not just YAF. And the university knew when Chris Simcox came that he is an open racist and when he came to the event, openly used racial slurs towards students in the room, yet the university knew that students had concerns that this would happen when he came and chose to allow the YAF and the young Republicans to have this event anyway. Even though some personal information was put on the website Spartan Spectator of some of our group members, along with the personal email sent to me by Chris Simcox, saying not to bring our racialist militant hate to his event, with a really bad picture of a dead person in the desert with blood all over his face. With the administration knowing all of these things before this man came to campus to speak, they still allowed him to come. Now, a few of us got together and organized a nonviolent counter-protest to this event, and we held a vigil outside with a lot more people than who were there for the event to see Simcox speak. The event was about an hour long. We had many community members there, not only speaking out against this event, but also there just attending the event to show their resistance against the Simcox event. After the vigil, students and community members attended the public event, which was open to the public for all students and community members to attend. And when Chris Simcox began speaking, we openly showed resistance towards his message of hate speech and his message of anti-immigration policies. At this time, we want to talk a little bit about the administrative response and also the police response that through personal stories and through police reports will demonstrate their racist attitude towards the students who attended the event. We also want to briefly talk about what happened before the arrests were made, as far as one of the comments that was made at the event of, I have two words for you, job and soap, which provoked a lot of the anger from many of the people that were attending the event, and which made other people chant even more. And that's right before the police started arresting people. And so we're going to have a few personal testimonies about these arrests, how they were racially targeting certain people. And so we want to just bring along those people out here, Kathleen Miller and Stephen Mitchell. And Margot.
Real briefly, I'd just like to speak to my experience last night. I was asked 25 times by law enforcement officials to get out of my seat. I was one of the first people asked to leave, and I was one of the last to exit. I don't know if it would have been different had I been a person of color, but the only logical answer to that question in my mind is yes. It's ridiculous that I could stand there and look a police officer in the face and say, right now I'm resisting your orders. Why am I not being arrested? Have them smirk at me and turn away. The only answer to this question is that there was blatant racial profiling occurring last night, and I can attest to that personally.
My voice is a little shaky. So, last night I was sitting 5 rows back in the center of the auditorium, and after the working soap comment, police were set on the crowd, and they came to each individual row, and they told me personally that I was going to be arrested. When I asked what for, they didn't give me an answer, but they only said that the event was being shut down. And in a matter of minutes, 5 people of color were arrested. The 70% white population in attendance were obviously safe, and especially as safe if you vocalize with assuring conviction that you were white and that you were associated with one of the sponsored groups, you were actually allowed to stay at the event, which even makes a case for racial profiling that much stronger. Also, the excessive force needs to be an issue. You know, that people need to understand that these people are charged with, 3 of them were charged with misdemeanors, 2 of them are charged with felonious assaults or of resisting arrest, and these people weren't doing anything that I wasn't doing, or every other white person in the row that wasn't doing, and police broke through me personally and other white people to get to Mexicans, to get to Chicanos, to get to people of color, and it scared me, and I think it scared everybody, and it was obvious that the YAF and the college Republicans were picking people out of the crowd that should be arrested. At one point, Kyle Bristow had pointed at Jose, who was arrested, and then obviously Jose was arrested, and he was arrested with excessive force, and this information needs to be made public, and also it needs to be made public that Lee Chun and Terry Denbaugh, the spokesman, the vice president and spokesman for the university, were there in attendance, and that Denbaugh was actually quoted in the state news as saying that this event was brought on by MSU policy directive, and that it was sponsored by the administration, and they were there. Not only did they let these people, especially after the work in SOCOM and people got upset, not only did they let it continue, but then they let the police set on the crowd and do what they did, and it's inexcusable.
Thank you.
Okay, just like Stephen and Margot have said, I was in one of the back rows when they began asking people to leave, and I was told probably over 25 times that I needed to go or I would be arrested. And at one point, an officer put my arms behind my back, but at the same time, Jose Villagram became a target who already had 4 officers on him, yet the man that had me left me to go join the others, like using excessive force on him, and arrested him instead of me.
Thank you. And moving along, we would just like to point out, although we're going to be talking about this in our list of demands that we have created, about why the administration lied, why the police lied, that they were shutting down the event, that everyone had to leave, yet everyone but the Yaffers and the college Republicans were able to stay for the whole event. We just want an explanation as to why that happened and why that was allowed to go on.